Okay, sorry about the weird angle, guys. I'm having trouble with my tripod that I bought that came with my Kodak camera, which I no longer own. I actually had two of them at one point. And though that's the second camera I use to record videos for this show, and that's really the one I use the most in the early days. But just thought I'd talk about a record I hadn't covered yet, and I've stopped buying records for the time being, simply because prices have just gone way up for most releases, especially first prices and older issues of albums. But still on a jazz kick right now. Still really enjoying the music. I tend to get obsessed with a certain genre for a while, or a certain band. I still kind of do that to this day. But we'll talk about the Miles Davis Kind of Blue. This is the 2013 Record Store Day reissue. So that's 2013. Catalog number CL1355. I believe this is the catalog number for this particular reissue. Don't think they recycled the catalog number, just left it on there, the old one. But it's all over this thing. It's kind of funny. There's a picture of Miles there. Minimalistic packaging here, and I kind of wished I'd waited and just bought the more recent 2-disc LP that runs at 45 RPMs, put out by Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs. They waited a long time to put out that reissue. A lot of collectors, few collectors said on the Steve Hoffman forums, which I am a member of. But just great album here, great reissue. Sounds really good. It may be from Digital Source, but it sounds great nonetheless. But you have Julian Cannonball Adderley here, Paul Chambers, James Cobb, John Coltrane, which is another favorite of mine in the jazz realm of music. Bill Evans on piano, which that's great. I'm going to get one of his CDs. And White and Kelly. I do also own the 2 CD edition of this album with studio sequences and some studio chatter with the band and the producer at the time. That stuff was never released. Also have a I think it's Not Now Music or something, label 2 CD edition of this. That's the regular album and some bonus tracks on a second CD. It's not a bootleg, but it's official. It's an official on a lesser known label out of the UK, I believe. But yeah, great reissue here. Sounds great. It's mastered by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. I'm familiar with his work, and it sounds great. This album has been reissued many times ever since its release. There was word that the original master tapes of this were pretty much used up, worn out, no longer usable. They may have been tossed out or lost or maybe even stolen. But yeah, I mean, even if supposedly they used these session tapes to put this particular release together, I don't know what they used in the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab reissue. And I may pick that up in the future. I don't know. Very interesting photo here though of Miles in the studio. I wonder if that was actually taken at the time of this recording. You have some talk about just jazz and I think maybe a little bit about the songs on here, but you got the title track, which is the best track on here, and that is So What. Kind of coming for a closer view. Freddie the Freeloader, that's another great song. Blue and Green, Flamingo Sketches, and All Blues. There's also a song called Dolphin Street in the outtakes on disc 2 on the official 2 CD Columbia release of this, which I do own. But yeah, you can't go wrong with this classic album. It's one of the best known albums in jazz. My personal favorite by the guy. So yeah, it's just one to definitely own. Put in your collection. You can't go wrong. Sit down, relax, and have a smoke on a cigar or something. have your favorite alcoholic beverage. Mine is beer, and every now and then I will sit down and listen to this on either CD or record. Sit down in your most comfortable chair and enjoy this, just like I do. Very cool cover, iconic cover. Just about everyone knows it that's into jazz. I mean, I had heard about this album before I was even into jazz, when I was starting to listen to music at first. I didn't pay any attention to older music, anything older, even rock. So, yeah, you just can't go wrong with this. Get it in, cassette. There's still cassettes out there used, of course. Reel to reel, it's on, I think at this point, probably 4 or 5 CD issues. Box sets. You got the 1997 remix of this album. The Mobile Fidelity Super Audio CD. There's the Columbia Super Audio CD, which is in 5.1. Don't know how they did that. Just a phenomenal album. And I do plan on getting a few more Miles Davis CDs. I don't know if that'll be, any more high-end stuff. We'll see. I really like that stuff because it sounds the best. There's nothing wrong with the regular Columbia Red Book CD editions, but I do like the best possible sound that I can get of an album still. But I'm not going to pay a premium all the time. I will hold out and wait for a seller to have something in supply, a good amount of supply, so they can sell that item at a more reasonable price, rather than go for the seller that's greedy and supposedly only has one copy left in stock. Sometimes they will lie about that just to hype up the item. I don't like that at all. I don't like shady business practices like that. But here's the label. It's a reproduction of the old 6i label there. So you got the track listing there on side 1 and 2. No insert really, except for this, talking about Miles's other releases. Round about midnight, I do have that Mobile Fidelity vinyl reissue, put out a couple years ago. Milestones I don't have. I do plan on getting the Mobile Fidelity CD version of that, a Super Audio CD. Miles Ahead, I don't really care for it. Out of the 9 titles here, I have 5 of them, I believe. About 4. Yeah, 4. So that's really the only insert that comes with this. Would have been kind of cool to have a little booklet or something with some information about this particular release, how it was put together. But people have tracked down that information already. So you can get these in LP, these are in CD, some of them are in Super Audio CD, and I've looked at all those, and they're a little pricey for each one. It's like $35 at this point of me making this video. But you can't go wrong with Miles Davis. Any format you can buy his albums in will work and sound good, because the guy put his heart and soul into the music, and his playing is so unique. It's like no one else. He basically sang with the trumpet, so yeah. One more time, we'll look at the cover. Just a great lineup of artists here, and I will plan on getting a Bill Evans CD. That is on my list. So if you have any, share your experiences with this album. What do you do when you listen to it? I know some people do things, that I'm just not going to mention. It's not anything bad, but yeah, great album. Highly recommend it, and that's my video, guys. So thank you for watching another in-depth vinyl review video. Forgot to mention that at the start of this. So yeah, thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, experiences, put them down there in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate that, and I love to see you guys' stories on things, really.